Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. In a league where only one team can win, where do you go for your fantasy football fix? Right here, right now. 32 teams, the real fantasy football show. And now your hosts, Philip Galinsky and Heath Keltz.
Very well done. Very well done. Wait a minute. Wait. Cut that.
He wasn't just a baseball guy, Bob Shepard.
No.
He
And
was-
that homage was brilliant, by the way.
He is
Excellent job. Excellent. The crowd loved it.
the only PA announcer who we actually know his name in professional sports is Bob Shepard, and he died the other day, as a lot of people know. And the first time I ever went there, I was like, who's this guy adding class to this place?
That's right.
Really great.
And he also announced for the Giants.
Yeah, he started in like the 50s with the Giants and stopped in I think 2006.
Yep.
So he never
But
got to say
here's the amazing thing.
Eli
Now,
Manning.
I like to make money in revenue share and build businesses and brands, which we're doing on this show, right?
Well, we're trying. Yes.
So it's Philip Galinsky and Heath Keltz here, 32 teams, the real fantasy football show. How much would you pay for a Bob Shepard phone ring?
My God.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've reached Heath Keltz.
Yes, it's really that would be great.
Because Jeter's got that.
Yeah.
Jeter's the only guy that he's got the recording.
And they're doing that tonight while the All-Star game is going on. And none of those people are listening to our show, those baseball people.
That's right. And you know why? Because they got all messed up with this World Cup thing. And the only thing that I gleaned from the World Cup, and our guys behind the glass, Adam and Rudy, have decided that come September, they're going to build an aquarium behind us, and they're going to have Paul the Octopus back there, and we're going to see which team and which receiver and which running back Paul picks for that football week. And we're basically, you and I are going to be out of a job.
I know, we're going to be replaced by an octopus.
An octopus because he won the World Cup. Insane.
You know, one of the coolest quotes that I read is that if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. I really
like
appreciated that about the.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
There
well,
you go. Sorry, I was a little off there.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 32 Teams, the real fantasy football show. Call in at 877-242-8212. This is July, and July is National Wide Receiver Month. I don't know if you're aware of that, Heath.
Yeah, also known as Training Camp Battle Month.
That's right, taking care of business, TCB, baby. So we're going to be dedicating our time to the receivers to make sure you can win your league, because we don't want you to perform fantasy football fantaside.
What is fantasy football fantaside?
Fantasy football fantaside is when you pick a person that's on your favorite team for your fantasy team because you go with your heart and not your head.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And it happens a lot. Heath and I are here to remedy that situation. If you want to call in and tell us your fantaside story, go ahead at 877-242-8212. We're also on Facebook at 32 Teams, and we are on chataboutit.com. You got to download the show, take it with you wherever you go so that you can get all the knowledge that we're departing on you. And this section today is the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we're finishing off
The bad.
So,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Heath Keltz and Philip Galinsky for the only section that really matters: the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, I tell you, some of the bad was your old boy Lavernius Coles last year. He defected from gangrene and went over to the Cincinnati Bengals, and boy, did he's just not what he was. And they became a power running football team last year. Some of that's not his fault, but he finished as the 55 wide receiver last year, 55th fantasy wide receiver. And he had, chest injury, he had a head injury.
He's 112. Give him a break.
I understand that. And then a thumb injury in the wild card game against your Jets.
Thank you.
Right? That was me pushing that.
I
That
know.
doesn't happen that often.
I know.
And
We're going to have to DNA.
but now, so I'm reading about him, and I'm going, so he doesn't have a team. They cut him. He's so bad he can't stick with the Bengals. And so they cut him, and now the Jets are interested in re-signing him. Why? So that he could replace Santonio Holmes for the first 4 weeks. That's not an even trade, and you know it.
I know. See,
And
I
not
wouldn't
only that, but-
do fantaside there. I would not.
No,
do-
you wouldn't.
I'm
you
smart
shouldn't.
enough not to do fantasy.
But is the Jets organization smart enough not to stay away from this guy? Anyway, so he had a terrible year last year, and it really showed in that playoff game, and also the last game of the season. let's talk about the other Cincinnati Bengals, right?
All right, wonderful.
Chad Ochocinco.
Oh, yes. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will get a sneak peek into the life, the reality of Chad Ochocinco. That's right. We got a little snippet of the interview of the year that's going to be on Robert Galinsky's Reality Wanted tomorrow night between 6 and 8 p.m. The full interview there, but we got a little snippet inside the mind of an all-pro that has to go on a reality show to get women. Look, I get more tush than a toilet seat, folks. I don't need a reality show. I don't know what Chad's problem is. Thank you.
I saw the preview for his show. It looks hysterical.
Yeah.
It really does.
He's a great guy, though. I mean, the interview was really informative, so I want everybody to hear the whole thing. We only could grab a little piece of it.
Cool. Well, he's the star of the wide receiver corps in Cincinnati. Yeah, water's wet. And starting in 2003, he had 5 consecutive seasons where he was a top 10 fantasy wide receiver. Last year, he came back to the planet of being an awesome wide receiver in fantasy, and he finished as a top 15 wide receiver. So on a run-heavy team. So this points to good things, especially now that maybe they might have to not be a run-heavy team with some of the difficulties that Mr. Benson is encountering. Yes, well, it's a violence issue. Come on, it's a violence issue. It's not a drug issue right now. All right. So Carson Palmer's injury season in 2008 really messed him up, but now he's back to putting up his 7th 1,000-yard season. And Chad Ochocinco should be even better this year. He's going to draw the double teams because he's got some help on the other side, like he didn't have last year with Lavernius Coles in Antonio Bryant. Now, Antonio Bryant has come from Tampa Bay, and he's going to be seeing a lot of single coverage. I really like Antonio Bryant this year, catching the football. There's talk now about, after this difficulty with Cedric Benson, that they want to become a little bit more of a passing offense.
Right.
This is probably going to be by necessity. This might also bump up Bernard Scott on your running back rankings. And also, I think Antonio Bryant. He's got really good hands, got really good body control. He really knows where he's at on the field. He runs good routes. It's a nice fit for them.
Right, but this is not the My Bengals. Google it, Google free. There's no Eddie Brown. There's no Chris Collinsworth. There's no Rodney Holman.
No, there's no Darnay Scott.
Exactly. Google it, people. We do not have stock in Google, but yet we can name drop teams from the NFL.
There is yet another training camp battle here in Cincinnati, and it's for the number 3 wide receiver spot. They've got 3 guys battling it out. One is Matt Jones, the guy from Jacksonville last year, the former quarterback from Arkansas who had some problems with some narcotics. And so he was suspended last year and then cut from the team entirely in Jacksonville. Andre Caldwell is the other guy who's in the running, although he's not he didn't develop as quickly as the team might have hoped.
Right.
But then there's this rookie kid, and I've been on this kid the whole time. You've been listening to me about Jordan Shipley, who also is going to be returning punts and possibly kickoffs as well. So if you get points for that in your league, this is a guy to take a look at. Watch this guy in the preseason. I think Matt Jones is going to win this job. We got to see what happens. But, I'm big on Jordan Shipley. He's definitely, I think, going to be the 4 wide receiver.
Now, because Cincinnati tries to do reclamation projects, and we had discussion about Cedric Benson, and I was right. Check the archive. He couldn't handle success. What do you think about Matt Jones then?
Well, I mean, this is one of those cases, and I think both.
Is he going to be carrying a Whizzinator? I mean, is he?
I mean, that they're gonna test him,
right?
You know that they're going to be, looking out to see if he's going to be the guy or not, who's going to violate this policy again. And because I think it's, 2 strikes, he has to go every week.
Right.
So
I go every day.
Well, there you go. Well, I go at least 3 times a day.
He has to hold it for an entire. Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
That's crazy bladder control.
Yeah.
Speaking of craziness, we have a caller on line 1 who is very interested in the fashion sense of the hosts of 32 Teams. Frank, are you there?
Yeah.